What the hell is the goal here? Recently, for those of you who might not know, Gavin Newsom launched a podcast, and his first guest on that podcast was the guy notorious for having a really weird gum-to-tooth ratio, Charlie Kirk. And he's had a few episodes out, and the most recent guest that he's had on is Steve Bannon. When you think about the frustration that a lot of rank-and-file Democratic voters have and independent voters have, it's the unwillingness for mainstream elected Democrats to put up a fight. That's pretty bad in and of itself. But you know what's worse? When quote-unquote mainstream Democrats are going out of their way to platform the worst racists and white supremacists in modern history. And don't get me wrong, that is what Charlie Kirk is, and that is who Steve Bannon is. Since when are we giving a platform to people who are openly hostile to anything that the American Republic stands for? When is that a good idea? The person who is the definition of somebody who is allergic to soap and clearly looks like what scabies would be if it were a person, was on Gavin Newsom's podcast, and I tried to listen to the entire show, but I could only get through about 10 minutes. And in that first 10 minutes, one of the first things that Steve Bannon says is that the only reason I'm on the show is to get people that are fans of you to come over to our side. That's what we're doing when we're platforming these racist and apartheid-loving white supremacists. Now, I understand that there's merit to saying in the arena of ideas, our ideas will rise to the top and they'll win. If that were really true, the outcome of the election would have been completely different. Because here's what the Republican Party does, and here's what MAGA does really well. They say outright lies that are really simple to digest over and over again until it becomes the truth. This is a version of Goebbels, who said that you need to repeat the lie and make it big enough and repeat it often enough until it becomes the truth. And that's the exact playbook that they're running. So by platforming these Nazis, these people who are big fans of giving those salutes, that is what you're creating the opportunity for. You're creating the opportunity for them to develop another channel to push their propaganda and push their misinformation and push their big lie. I understand why elected Democrats are interested in finding common ground, because the reality of it is that there's more things that unite us than divide us. But the fact of the matter is, you have an opposition side that fully believes that it would be perfectly justified to round everyone up that is their political opposition and put them into concentration camps. What's the common ground there? What's the common ground between these people believe you should be exterminated and our position? There is no common ground. What elected Democrats need to do is understand that in this era, we're not going to lecture our way to reason. This is a time where it's time to put on the brass knuckles and start swinging. The time for diplomacy is over, and platforming these Nazis is not the way to make inroads, unless your plan is to be co-opted and go into the concentration camps last. That's the fatal flaw that you see over and over again from the likes of Gavin Newsom, Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer. They think that this is a philosophical exercise. It's not. This is a kinetic exercise. And whether you like it or not, one side is bent on executing their goals, and we, on the other side, can't be treating this as a theoretical exercise. Gavin Newsom, wake up, and your show sucks.